The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
Well, of course, it's always good to play at home, and especially after 3 weeks of Detroit and other parts of the world. But it's been an interesting 3 weeks. It's been a tough 3 weeks. Hopefully, there hasn't been anything easy for us, and hopefully that they'll make us better, because we've had some fire, and of course it takes fire to purify you and make you better, and then we're playing against a team that's not easy to play against. Mars Hill's always a tough team for us, and they got some really good tools, and Coach Clifton and his staff over there always comes up with some wrinkles that, like double reverse passes and some things that if you're not sound, they'll catch you in a bad position and you'll give up points, and we haven't been in position yet this year, so I'm sure they're licking their chops on that one. So, they're 1-0 in the conference, undefeated in the conference, and they got as much hope as anybody to win the conference, and so they'll come in here geared up and ready to go.
You talked about the 3-game swing. What kind of growth did you see from your squad over the last 3 weeks?
Well, I think we at least, some of them at least decided that they were going to do what they were asked to do. And you wouldn't think that would be a contest here for guys struggling to commit themselves to the Eagle way. But we had some sticking points there on that one, and I think we've got that squared away. I think last 2 weeks we played in ways that we didn't play well, but at least we played with some heart. We played with some inside stuff that you can build on. We were a whole lot more of a team that we all want to be part of, and so I think we've made progress. They don't show it on the scoreboard much, but I think on the things that you don't see, I think we've made some progress, and only time will tell if we continue to make some progress, because sometime or another we've got to start blocking and tackling better, and we got to start doing the little things that end up making such a big difference, like getting lined up right, and like not losing receivers, and et cetera, et cetera. So, but we're making progress, and I think we'll continue to make progress.
Marcel has had to deal with the loss of Shaq Davis at tailback. Jamel Harbison.
Are you sure?
He hasn't played yet this year.
I know, but are you sure that he won't show up Saturday?
But Jamel Harbison had 36 carries for 153 yards. What have you seen them do to account for him not being there in the first few weeks of the season?
Well, they changed their game plan quite a bit the last ball game. They went from a pass first to a run first the last ball game, and it paid dividends. They beat Newberry, and so they had a bunch of turnovers the first 2 ball games. Last ball game they didn't have any. So I'm sure that's the game plan since they won that they'll stick with, and I'm sure when they look at us and see we've given up, but we may have them confused. We've given up 400 yards passing last week and 400 yards rushing the week before. So we may have them over there wondering, how are we going to try to how we going to beat Carson-Newman. So I don't know what to expect, to be honest with you.
What about Demetrius Holmes? What's he bring to the table for them at wide receiver?
Well, he's a complete football player. He can throw it. He can pass it. He can run it. He can return kicks. I think he's returned 2 kickoffs already for touchdowns. He's thrown for 2 touchdowns, I believe, maybe 1, and he's caught 4 touchdown passes. And they're just going to get the ball in his hands any way they can because he can run and he's a threat.
Obviously, the defense's numbers probably don't look up to par, but I think each week they've gotten a little bit better. How would you assess where the defense stands right now?
Well, not anywhere near we need to be, but improving and working at it like crazy. You can't be too frustrated as long as you got a plan and you're still working the plan and everybody's still bought in on working the plan and trying to do the things it takes to improve. And so, I'm going to hold on to the fact that I think we got the people to have a pretty good defense before the year's over. They're just all new, and most of them, especially in critical positions. And they're just making a lot of mistakes that young players make that we shouldn't be making, but we are. And I know it's not because we're not coached. We got a great coaching staff. And we got a defensive staff I'll line up against anybody. And but we're just making a lot of mistakes, and we simplified last week about as simple as you can get, and we still had defensive backs, and then I go back and I look, and it's defensive backs that this is the first year they played for us, and linebackers, we 2 freshmen that. Got out of position a few times, and so, and then it's not all freshmen; it's some of the old heads. We're not communicating real well on defense, and we're probably not playing with as much confidence right now. But I still believe we're going to turn the corner. I think something's going to go click, and we're going to be pretty good defense for us things over with.
Do you sense that the offense feels a little pressure with the fact that the defense has allowed so many points that the offense feels like they need to score every possession and they really have to play error-free football?
Well, I hope so, because that's our goal all the time. Play error-free football and go score every time you get the football. That's not any different than anything that's happened since 1902 around here. That's what we want to do.
Last year the talk was a lot about special teams, some disappointment there, a couple field goals I think have been blocked. How do you think special teams is performing to this point in the season? Better.
Of course, we returned a kickoff for a touchdown, and we had unbelievable. This past week wasn't as good, except we had good kickoff coverage again, and we got good performance out of Ben Ogle, which was critical, and we still have got to get a punter to come through for us. So it's still a progress deal, and about the time we think that we gained a little ground, we'll lose a little ground in another phase of it, and we got to keep working at it.
Trent Miller back for his sophomore season. What growth have you seen in the Lions quarterback?
Well, he struggled some in the first 2 ball games and I hadn't watched all the plays. I don't know how many of them was protection breakdown, receiver breakdown, or his breakdown, but he sure threw 7 interceptions the first 2 ball games, and so that's not good. It's hard to win that way, and so I'm sure that's the reason they simplified too. But he's got a strong arm. He don't mind standing in the pocket and throwing it and getting hit, and so he's got a lot of game experience.
Their offensive line is one of the most experienced in the league. 4 starters are back from last year, 2 of them all conference. They're big. What does that enable them to do?
Well, they it all starts there. You know, they protect him well. They protect the quarterback well, and and they are finding ways to scheme with their blocking schemes to give them some running room, and it helps when you can have a veteran group at offensive line, because that's a place where you can't hardly get by with freshmen right off the bat.
Running back situation for your club, Damian Baker, how much does he factor into the fray this week?
Well, I hope a whole lot. Of course, it's still early in the week, and it's going to amount a whole lot to how well he responds. But we're thin at that position, and but we got some great kids. We got some kids that want to do it, and we'll keep working it. And that's another position that's in progress, kind of, except for Andy, who has been here, done that. But the rest of them don't have hardly any playing time. And so it's again, it don't happen overnight. It takes some patience. And as long as they have hope, we have patience. So and that's what it takes. What
would a big crowd this Saturday mean for your club, being Kids Day and a pink out in honor of breast cancer awareness? Well,
it'd be great. We can say all we want to that we don't play for the crowd and all that, but the crowd makes a difference. And we know we're going head to head with Tennessee on television with who they play, Florida. And we know that's hard, but they can only get 102,000 in the stands over there, and we just need 6,000 of them here. So we just got to keep working and hope that we can get some excitement about that.